Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jason Liu from DNV. So DNV is very much committing to support industry in the all the different aspects, but very much now on the digital and smart transition. So I'm very honored today to moderate this session today. And the topic for this session is green shipping, the race to zero. So as we know that shipping is undergoing a major transition or transformation, getting to a more green shipping, and this is, I think that is a race, not only about speed, but it's very much about the pathway, how you get there in a technically and also commercial viable, let's say, manner. Today, we are very glad to have the panelists from the ship owners and also for American P&I Club. So firstly, please allow me to introduce the panelists. To my left, we have Ms. Judy Chen as head of dry cargo China from Norden. And I just go with this direction. So we also have Mr. Dario Bocchetti as head of energy saving, R&D, and ship design from Grimaldi Group. We also have Captain Zhang, but I think he's coming soon. So he's the general manager of Shipmanagement from Kwong Maritime Transport. And we have Ms. Daisy Ge as a senior consultant from Laskaridis shipping company. Last but not least, we also have Ms. Jo Wan from American P&I Club. So I want to start with a round of short introduction by the panelist on his company and also on their company and also decarbonization strategy, and a little bit maybe highlight on the major initiative. Maybe we can start with Judy first. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's my honor to come to Capital Links Forum this year. And I'm from Norden. Norden is a Danish shipping company with a history of 152 years. And we have been doing business with China actually from late 19th century. So actually more than 130 years. So it's a long-term commitment in China. And we are very honored that we will share some our measures and initiatives in our greenhouse control systems. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Dario, please.
Good morning to everybody. My name is Dario Bocchetti. Grimaldi Group, we operate, we have 130 ships and we have 25 new buildings nowadays in China. In 4 Chinese shipyards, we build and we operate Ro-Ro, Ro-Pax, PCTC, and yes, passenger Ro-Ro and cars. And we trade worldwide. What I do is about the ship design of all the new building and the decarbonization strategy of the group.
Hello, dear distinguished friends. I'm Kwong from Laskaridis Shipping. Thanks to the organizers, I'm happy to share this delighted moment with all of you. Laskaridis Shipping is one of the great shipping company, and Mr. Laskaridis himself, I think, he is one of the pioneers in Greek shipping that opened his office in China more than 20 years ago. So we are involving for the head company, for the head office in both chartering, new buildings, and also others, whatever the mother company required from us here. We are very happy to share this moment with all of our colleagues here. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Jo Wan. I work for the American P&I Club. The American P&I Club is quite committed to the China market. We got our office back in 2008 in Shanghai. I believe it's we are the first IG P&I Club in got the office in China. Thank you very much for having me here today to with such a great panelist. To discuss this interesting topic, green shipping. I believe green shipping is really the trend of the future, and it is really fantastic to be here, and I'm really excited to be invited. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for all the brief introduction. Let's get into the topic. So as we all know that in London this July, IMO has significantly strengthened the ambition for international shipping in terms of decarbonization with the ultimate goal to reach the net zero by 2050. And we're also seeing that in the market, they are basically have three fundamental drivers to actually increasing the pressure for decarbonization that can be on a regulator, that both from IMO and also regional regulator like EU, but also expectation from the cargo owner and consumer, last but not least, but also access to the capital and also investors. So maybe we start from the sharing from the panelists that with all this coming into play, do you believe that it's possible for international shipping to decarbonize by 2050? And what will be the major challenge? Maybe we also start with Judy.
Yes, I think it will happen because that is definitely the trend for the shipping industry. But of course, we have quite a lot of challenges for this transiting periods, including regulations, including the customer interests, and as well as like owners like Norden, we need to also optimize our operations. So in that aspect, yes, it can be fulfilled, but still need a lot of efforts. Yeah.
Thank you. Dario?
Yes, of course, will happen, this decarbonization, and we know that IMO has set the ambitious target. Only the last July has been agreed the final strategy from IMO for the decarbonization in, let's say, net zero close to 2050. And this is a very ambitious target because when we do a new building today, this ship will be very young in 2030 and 2040. And what is more challenging is this intermediate checkpoint of IMO to do the -20, -30% CO2 reduction. So a lot of work needs to be done.
Yeah, thanks. Zhang.
我想我最后一个来吧，我最后一个上来。
Okay, Daisy?
Yes, thank you. I think it's possible. We think it's possible that we, up to the 2050, we will be, let's say, big possibility to have this decarbonization. However, in front of us, there are some certain difficulties and challenge indeed. Among all of these, I think I have 3 points to mention here. First of all, the time is pricing. Now we are talking about the green shipping for the decarbonization, which is actually a few revolutions in our industry. We have to bear in mind the previous revolution took us quite a lot of time. It cannot be, Rome was not built in a day. So we have to be patient with the time. Further to that, the technology need a lot of support from the scientific side on for the good view, good choice for us, and also for a good supply system, all of this. So this is also we have to keep in mind. The last one is that very important for all the ship owners. Everybody, all the colleagues has a goodwill that to do the best for the decarbonization. However, we need to work out to find a way to keep the balance between the operation and also the cost and the time of the decarbonization. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, my point echoes Daisy's point. I think this is the biggest challenge to the maritime industry even up to 2050. Many of the proposed changes needed to meet the 2030 deadlines are, I believe, manageable with the technology improvements and for efficiency, including such things like weather routing, engine efficiency improvements, slow steaming, short-term transition to intermediate fuels like LNG. As far as the industry reaching the 2050 objectives, that will be a significant challenge, as not only will there be requirements for new fuels, they must be readily available in scale, as well as the new technology, new engine technology available to meet the requirements. The availability of the alternative fuels, I believe, will be a significant challenge to the industry as a whole, as we are competing with other industries for these fuels, like the aviation industry. Thank you.
Yeah, 张总，建议您也可以简单介绍一下我们华光啊。
哦，好，我可能来晚了，因为我是照着11点10分的这个节奏走的。好，没关系。那么我是来自香港华光船务管理公司的。那么我们是一家基于香港本地的一个船东公司，同时也做这些船舶管理的这些业务啊。那么我就接着刚才的话题讲下去。那么我其实对于能不能实现这个这个目标，我觉得是应该是有信心的。原因其实很简单，刚才我看了在座的各位的发言，大家讲了很多的 challenge， 那说明这些压力对于大家来讲就是一种驱动性。那么有了这种驱动性的话，而且从另外一个角度上来讲，从我们的业界上来说，等会儿在下面的我们讨论的环节会看到，已经有很多变化发生了。那在于这一点上来讲，我觉得我可能还要强调的 challenge 就是什么呢？其实就是一种不确定性。最大的不确定性其实就是什么？最大的不确定性就是我们的绿色燃料最后落到哪个点上如果没有这个确定性不是很清晰的话，特别对于我们船东和操作的人来讲，哪怕包括船厂造船来说都是有比较大的挑战的。那我们到底朝哪个方向走呢？从某种意义上来讲这些的科学的发展和这些技术的要求应该不完全在我们船东的身上，但实际上这是我们需要承担的责任。那么既然大家已经朝这方面努力了，有很多东西我们也已经大部分在完成了，那我觉得到了那个时间点上，我们应该能够完成这些东西。好，那我就讲这一点。
Thanks for all this sharing. I think we may conclude from the panel discussion on this question that it's quite challenging, no doubt, but it's possible and also something we have to do, we have to handle. And I want to also refer a little bit on the discussion or sharing from our panelists, like we need to do it step by step, it's a long journey, but we also need to see that any new tonnage we are placing now probably will have a big impact due to this target. So we have to take also action in this decade and also foster the solutions that can be ready to scale. So I think that we are looking at the ship owners, they are taking action indeed. So according to latest statistic, the ship owners are investing on the fuel flexibility. You can see that also from DNV AFI statistics, the platform that's showing that almost half of the new tonnage that order now in the order book are actually able to run alternative fuels. And we're also seeing the industry taking continuous effort on energy efficiency. So I want to also ask our panelists to share their experience on the alternative fuel and also future development and also the, let's say, energy efficiency measure that which will help the industry to decarbonize. Okay, so maybe we start also from Judy.
Thank you. I think it's a very good question because as a ship owner, we are also thinking how we can, on one hand, compliance with the regulation, and on the other hand, optimize our own operation and decrease our own cost. I can share some data with audience that Norden actually from 2023 we are voluntarily reduced our vessel speed. And in doing that, of course, one thing that optimizing the fuel consumption, and on the other hand, we also controlled our carbon and the CO2 emissions. And in doing that, our cost for 2023 has been increased around $10 million. But at the same time, we help to reduce 160,000 tons of CO2 emissions. So that is the social responsibility for the shipping company like Norden. And regarding the, just like Jason mentioned, this alternative fuels, and we have been cooperating with one company called Mesh, and they are the Danish-Indian scale-up, which they researches, develops, and also produce the renewable fuel that coming from the biomass waste. So we have some minority stake in these companies. Why are we doing that? Because we think for the next few years, it's a kind of a strategic partnership with Norden. And we can, we can secure we can secure the supply of biofuel, and also at the same hand, trying to get that at a competitive price. And in doing so, we can also help to decrease our customers, our charters, their supply chain costs. So that is what Norden is doing now. The reason why we use the biofuel in this transiting time is because it can use in the existing vessel. So which means we don't really need to build new vessels with new technologies. It can be used in the existing vessels. That can help the Norden to decrease the cost. But of course, for the alternative fuel, that is definitely trend. So Norden also cooperate with Maersk Muller Carbon-Free Center, which that they have some ongoing projects regarding the carbon-free vessels. And we are also get our vessels like laboratories for those for this center, and which means that they can use our vessels as a test, and whether the ongoing projects and also the new alternative fuels can be used in the dry bulk vessels and also tankers. So yeah, that is what we are doing now. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting perspective. In Grimaldi, we have some annual emission of CO2 can be higher than 5 million tons of CO2 because we operate, as I said, up to 150 ships, and sometimes the speed is also imposed by the market. For example, for passenger, you cannot arrive too late to an island or somewhere else. So on one side, the operational aspects are very important, and any energy saving solution, including the schedule or adjusting the speed or adjusting the schedule, or the technological retrofit from the silicone paint for the hull resistance, and all the technology that exists, like the air lubrication or the most innovative technologies we try to apply, because even only 1% in fuel reduction means a big reduction in CO2 emission, and tend to align ourselves to the new indexes and targets. However, when it goes to the risk related to the new alternative fuels, there are big risks, because such alternative fuel today not have the logistic chain, the availability in the port. We speak about methanol, we speak about ammonia. Also, our new PCTC will be ammonia ready. Nevertheless, there is no ammonia today, especially no green ammonia in any port. So it's a big challenge in front of us. It's not something like changing a bulb lamp in the house. So it's a very big challenge. And then what is necessary? It is necessary that ship owners are helped in this transition. And this is why we support this fund and reward system at IMO. This levy cannot be something only in Europe, because even though it's already arrived in Europe, this tax, this account only 7% of worldwide shipping emissions, while it's creating a big market distortion. On the other hand, IMO should apply something like a flat contribution. That is a system that could be more fair and use the money for covering the gap, because initially this new fuel will cost 2 times, 3 times. So how can we, as a ship owner, buy such expensive fuel without knowing where is available? So there are many aspects that still need to be developed. The ship owners cannot be left alone to cover this. Would happen very difficultly if there is no such a mechanism helping the transition. Thank you.
Thank you. 张总。
我还是放在最后。
好 ，Daisy。
Thank you. I'm in the position of Dario on this point of view about the big challenge. We are here all together. We are discussing, and what has been discussed before and will be same will discuss for a long time in the future is about the possibility and the way of this green, of the decarbonization. Compare with those big container owners and operators, and who are contributing more today to this revolution, not because they have a stronger feeling than us, but from the reality as bulk carriers, we are a little bit, especially for example, for our company, the fleet consists the majority by the bulk fleet consists the majority by mainly by the Panamax, which we don't know where the vessel will call, not like containers or even the Ro-Ro. So we are not sure also where, in which port the vessel will call, and if we can get a ready solution, proper delivery. For example, Dario mentioned also, it's also the trend of the industry that there are many, many trials. We are trying many possibilities. The methanol, the hydrogen, and even today the ammonia. Seems to most of the people, ammonia maybe is the best solution, but still it's not realistic for today. So as a traditional shipping company, our company, together with the big container lines operators, we are also at the forefront of the technology. We cooperate, we involved with several major classification societies, and also in the National University of Athens, we are working on involving into several projects for the data collections. This is for the operation ships. By the high frequency data collections, then we could also minimize our footprint, our environment footprint. So, and also on top of that, we're also doing something study together with others, try to find a better solution for the vessel already in operation. The new buildings, we are more rely on the main engine makers and also on those scientists, the research centers, which will help us to bring us a better solution. So everybody is trying the best to, for the industry, for our goal. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to answer this question from P&I perspective. As P&I Club, we are strong supporters of our members in their transition to decarb. However, we play no direct role here in the transition process. We are aware of there are many technical, operational training, safety challenges for seafarers to the transition to the new fuels. I think the primary role, direct role of P&I Club at this point in time is, I believe, directly related to the charter parties and contracts. Our initiatives are currently focused on providing education for our members as how we view these issues through P&I lens, how that will affect our existing P&I cover. as we implement new technology in maritime industry, we need to understand that this can change the risk profile. Every new technology brings with it a new set of challenges and risks that need to be managed. We got traditional fuel like bunker oil that will pose grave environmental risks. A potential spill from a grounding case, like say like a grounding case, that could have disastrous environmental implications. While alternative fuels are generally less harmful to the immediate environment, but they come with their own safety consequences, like the ammonia, highly toxic, hydrogen, which is explosive, and the batteries could potentially catch fire, as we saw in the past years about the EV cars. The introduction of new technology could also bring change the risk landscape for the machinery failures. So we need to ensure that new technologies are robust and resilient, and that we got the necessary contingencies in place. So as we transition to new fuels and technology, I believe correct operations and good handlings of this will become even more critical. So it is crucial for the market, for the industry. I mean, to develop, to implement, and enforce a right procedures and protocols to manage these new risks. Yeah. Thank you.
好，那么刚才我看了一个 Judy 和在这边面讲了很多操作层面的东西。那么正像Dario 说的，不管是到底是甲醇还是氨，这种燃料来讲，到底是转换的话，对于任何一个船东来讲都不是特别容易的事情。对于我们来讲，不能把这个责任全部的放在船东身上。那么给大家分享一样东西，就像 Daisy 说的，可能集装箱船在这方面走得比较快一点吧。我们华光有一条LNG 的 bank barge 在上海操作，那就是专门为达飞这个集装箱公司，他们来是靠上海码头的时候来做的这个操作。当然，对于很多其他的船来讲，这样做并不容易。所以，对于我们一个船东来讲，从某种方面上来说，不会很激进的来选取到底在新造船上应该走哪一步。可能最多的选择到目前为止，最多的应该是一个follow up 的在跟从的一个角度来做这件事情吧。那么，如果说从减低风险的这个角度上来讲，我觉得可能在目前为止应该是说有几个点。第一个点是说什么呢？第一个点就是说，当我们新造船和我们现有船的这些操作上来说，应该把那些尽可能不是新燃料的，尽可能能够节碳减排的这些东西都做到最好。不管是 shaft generator 也好，还有比较效果比较好的油漆也好，包括我们这些航行的措施上也好，包括船员的操作上也好，可能这是我们实际操作层面上的东西。那么先把这些东西做好，做到极致，然后等这个整个的 picture 比较清楚的以后，我们再做，可能对船东来讲，它的风险就更小一点。好，我简单的讲这么点。
Okay, thanks for all the sharing on this topic. I think we can experience that all the panelists, their company are taking real actions. Either can be energy efficiency, either can be alternative fuel, biofuel, biodiesel, as mentioned, and also some innovative like air lubrication, as Dario mentioned. But I think it's important to notice all the panelists also highlight that there are also big challenge and also uncertainty, especially on the alternative fuel. It can come with availability, can come with a higher cost, and also that different segment may move at a different speed, like the liner, like container, may move faster as we are seeing. So I think that we can, this is also very good to lead to the next question I want to ask the panelists to share, that like the fuel, I think that according to latest study that in DMV, maybe I can also share a figure, that in order to achieve the IMO 2030 target, that actually the international shipping would require 30 or 40% of global natural net zero alternative fuel or green fuel production. And that is quite challenging. So we would say that we should not, in this journey, I think we should leave no stone unturned. So we should try our best, as Daisy also mentioned. So all the panelists actually also highlight that ship owners should not left alone, that in this journey. So we should work hand in hand with the industry and the other stakeholder. So my question to the panelists is that we are seeing that more and more regulation like CII and EU, all this ETS is coming into force. So what's your action and experience that how you are implement these regulations in the near future, in this decade, but also how you are seeing the trend that this go beyond the technical compliance issue alone, is actually very much getting to the customer, your cargo owner, your financing. So maybe good to looking forward to share on this respect from our panel. Maybe we can also start, maybe we start with the P&I club, because it's very much that you are connecting with different your members.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, the EEXI regulations may require technical modifications on ships for compliance purpose. Well, CII regulations will likely necessitate operational changes. I think the primary obligations for both is still on the ship owner's shoulder. But P&I clubs are very frequently called to assist both ship owners and charters for this kind of inquiries. Given the operational focus of CII, I believe charters also need to understand the calculation and the data on which these calculations are based. It is particularly important considering the first annual reporting will be completed in 2023 with initial ratings to be released in 2024. I think transparency of emissions data will be very crucial, and it will be required continuously so that charters can understand how their orders will have impact on their ships. So slow steaming is also, I think slow steaming is expected to play a very significant role in the CII compliance. Other strategies could also include weather routing for more fuel-efficient routes, reducing time in anchorage, and less cargo intake. I think all these strategies will require the cooperation of the charter and the time charter party. Compliance with CII EEXI regulations will necessitate the cooperation, but more importantly, the compromise between ship owners and charters. I think the maritime industry has already started taking actions to balance the rights and obligations between the two parties. BINCO CII clause is one of the examples of the industry's efforts to address these issues. Well, it may not be a perfect solution or final solution to the challenges between these two parties, but I think it serves as a very good starting point and base for both parties to can use while considering CII issues in the context of time charter party discussion, right? So the club would recommend the members to consider to incorporate those kind of clauses into their usual charter party terms, and of course keep an eye on any other emission and regulatory related clauses for example, the Binko ETS class, right? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Daisy, could you continue?
Yeah, I think Joy mentioned that from his point of view, charters and owners need to cooperate on the charter parties' side. But I think all of this effort, all of this finally will be paid by the final consumer, not by owner or by the charters. But it will take some time. For this carbon intensity index and also all of the other regulations, which is now the IMO and Marine Economic Protection Committee is trying to enforce in the industry. That is very, very important for all of us to cooperate, as you just mentioned. So the very important and very helpful for all of us here is that there should be the strong support from the scientists. This is science and technology as the primary productive force, will help us to reach our target. Of course, as us here, all colleagues here, we need also to do our best to support, to give them some necessary assistance also to these studies, which will benefit at the end all of our industry and societies. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe we keep Ms. Zhang as last. So Dario, you can.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Yes, these indexes, regulatory indexes of efficiency came into force rapidly, also during COVID. And EEXI, energy efficiency of existing ship, is done because it was compulsory by January 2023. Now it's done. Our experience, we managed to obtain the new certificate quite okay. Some ships needed to install this, that is called EPL, engine power limitation, on some ships, but mainly it was a good index recertifying in a way the efficiency of the ship, like the EEDI, energy efficiency design. While the other one, the other index, this carbon intensity indicator, CII, this is more complex because affect the operation, but the denominator don't really explain what you carry, but is only a proxy of what you can carry. So it's like a GT or deadweight. In our case, it's mainly GT or deadweight. But then there are some distortion in this index. For example, because on the numerator is only your fuel consumption, your emissions, and on the denominator is about what you could carry and the miles that you cover, so it's the transport work. So what happens is that if a ship, for example, is empty, the fuel consumption is less because the draft is less. So your index is better, but your efficiency actually is no good in terms of what you carry because you are not carrying anything. So all the ballast voyage for a tanker or for our type of ro-ro vessel affected by the draft. Strangely, you are better if you do worst in terms of what you carry. And including on the miles, eventually you can get a benefit if you go around the world instead of going straight because you do more miles. And this is also not very efficient. Or the emissions that you do at berth or a tanker or waiting, they count 0 for the index. So they penalize the index while you are simply waiting because maybe the port is not ready to take the ship. So there are a number of things that needed to be reviewed, and in this sense there is now the review at IMO next year. We will have the first rating, A, B, C, D, E, in March about, but the review will start soon. So we agree that the cooperation among the various associations is important to address the specific need for a better index, because everybody of us want a fair index. We want to reach this target. The intermediate target for decarbonization was very important. I think everybody here agree that we wanted to show the efficiency, but we also needed the right formula to express what you're doing when you do something well. Another important thing that need to be addressed in these indexes and legislation is about to introduce the possibility to account when you do biofuel, when you do carbon capture. Carbon capture is also a very promising technology for shipping and can be combined with the exhaust gas cleaning system to continue to use in parallel also the fossil fuel, not because we have so many existing ships that cannot be switched to hydrogen. This is unrealistic, totally unrealistic. So what we can do is to work towards technological possibilities and biofuel, but also the carbon capture is an option and maybe can be done also by the refinery ashore. So the carbon capture and the reducing the CO2 into the fuel not necessarily has to come from the shipping service, where it could be very complicated. But the fuel produced in the refinery could be already reduced the CO2 content by paper in the end, but you do somewhere else and you account it into the fuel. Because I think I would like to underline that this revolution of the decarbonization is not something that the ship owner can do alone.
Yeah.
We are a big cluster. We are ship owner, operators, the engine manufacturer, but especially there is a big, the fuel produced by the land, the refineries. If shipping take maybe less than 10% of the fuel, the rest is for automotive and the land transport. So if these new fuels need to be changed, this is something that needed to come from the whole industry. And of course we can contribute to take the right fuel, but the big change has to come all over the big cluster.
Thank you. Maybe also Judy, you can also shortly introduce.
Actually, regarding EU ETS and also CII, this IMO new rules, just as Daisy and also Dario mentioned, that it's not only owner's thing. And frankly speaking, we believe that this cost should lay with charters instead of owners. So in real practice, we have some customers already asking us to including that cost into the freight. And we already have done some contracts with Australian green players. And we try our best to explain to them why these charters need to handle this amount of costs. And they finally understand, and we put that cost into the freight. So I think charters, they are also satisfied with this solution. And regarding this EU allowance, I think Norden, we are already hedging some exposure, and we're trying our best to provide different solutions to our customers, especially for our cargo owners, to serve their needs. But I should say that for most of charters, it's still a kind of blind area. Because most charters, they still think, okay, I understand I might need to take responsibility of this cost, but how much it costs? Can owners tell me the exact number of that? I think it's still kind of blind area, which we need really to enter 2024 to see the real influence for ship owners. Yeah, that's my opinion.
好，张总。
好，那行，那我刚才听了大家还是在这方面讲了很多比较大的方向的东西，在我这里可能分享一点实际操作的内容吧。什么叫实际操作的内容？首先第一个，其实对于 CII， 对于这些什么，对于这件事情EU ETS 这些本身，我们发现 bingo 的这个条款是写的相当 balanced 的。 那么可操作性很强。那作为这一点上来讲，我们作为一个船东和操作者，可能最大的想要采取的方式就是跟随并购的这个条款来进行操作，这样的话对大家可能都会比较方便。那么在实际的操作过程当中呢，其实我觉得它涉及到了2个方面，一个就是说这个碳的排放的记录需要相对的准确。这个准确，其实我觉得如果在实际的操作当中，记录过程当中有一点误差，应该不会影响实际的操作。但事实上，我想在保险公司那边，如果当我们船员的记录、我们船东的记录和租家的记录最后引起争执的时候，这中间如果有差别的话，到底怎么处理的话，虽然可能是个小事儿，到时候可能引起的争执也不会太小。那么，所以在这点上来讲，我们觉得首先操作层面上来讲，最前端的就是船员需要把这些记录记准确。但是从我们的目前的操作上来看，其实在这方面记录上要达到完全的准确，还是有一定的困难的。首先，它是什么呢？有一个人为的操作的失误，比如说我们就把每天的这些燃油的消耗记录下来，那我们就发觉我们的记录本身就是有错误的。那么包括他们把它记在我们的 logbook 上面，然后从 logbook 发回公司或者用软件发回来，这些东西都会有误差啊。除了手动的记录之外，我们还会现在很多船做成智能船以后，很多的数据都可以用 sensor 来传回来。但是我们发现用 sensor 传回来的过程当中，也并不能保证100%的准确。所以在这个层面上来讲，我觉得我们可能需要用更多的SMARTE ship 的这种功能来完成这记录方面的准确性，达到我们最后这些排放的记录是准确的，在操作过程当中不引起争执，这是第一个。那第二个呢，其实也就是说，有了这些记录以后，然后我们怎么来操作这样东西？那么在操作的过程当中，其实我们现在知道是需要设立一个账号的。那么华光在这一点上应该是说，最近设立这个账号的过程当中遇到了一点麻烦，因为好像是说亚洲的这边的船东如果要得到这个账号会有一定的困难。那么所幸的是，幸运的是我们华光在欧洲有一家子公司。那么在这方面的话呢，那么就是说现在已经开启了这么一个账号。那么所以在我们船管的过程当中除了这个账号能够用于我们华光本身，也能够服务于我们第三方的船东。那么对于华光的这个 Chat Party 的操作层面上来说，应该是说目前为止跨越2023到2024年的租约，我们已经把这些并购的条款加进去了。那么已经在和租家之间进行这样的探讨了，大家觉得这个可行性还是比较高的。那么除了这2个方面之外，那么我们操作的层面上来讲，我觉得还是需要吧，不管是保险公司也好，船东也好，船厂也好，方方面面的配合，才有可能把这样东西做得更好。在这里，我可以另外的提一点的是关于资本的方面关于资本方面，在这方面上面所做出的努力。其实我们华光在关于 ESG 这方面的内容，除了是绿色航运方面，在其他的方面也有涉及。什么叫在其他的方面也有涉及呢？因为 ESG 本来是联合国有17个目标的，那在这方面我们多多少少都有一定的涉及。这些涉及的内容有什么呢？比如说我们为了这些绿色航运的东西节能减排的内容我们在欧洲吧投了一个关于风电的这么一个项目在非洲那边也投了一个更小的项目。那个项目是什么呢？是一个关于一个可以减少燃量的炉子的这样的东西。那么除此之外，其实我们 ESG 的项目还有什么？还有关于教育方面的。那么教育方面的投资也有这些东西。那么在这方面，经过了这方面很多的努力我们其实在最近这几年资本给过我们在这些绿色环保上的支持。因为可能看到华光这方面的努力，最后我们其实在银行那边是拿到比较低息的贷款来 cover 这件事情的，对我们起到了比较大的帮助。那么其实在日常操作当中我们大家都知道有摊信用这件事情， 它到目前为止，碳信用还是一种什么呢？还是一种自愿的方式。那么，华光所能已经做到的，其实除了很多公司做的一样内容是什么呢？就是我们办公室的员工出差完了以后，他在他的整个的行程当中产生的碳的排放，会以碳信用的方式来抵消。那么我们除此之外，其实说跟香港的中电进行了一个合作。那这个合作的话，就是说除了抵消了我们员工的这些碳信用，而且在我们航次操作当中的碳信用，我们也有抵消的操作。所以基于这么多的努力，我想在做这些努力的过程当中，不仅仅是华光，我觉得行业当中有很多公司，包括绝对公司，都做了很多这项的努力。所以从这个角度上来讲，虽然有很大的风险，我觉得在将来的话，我们这个就像我们开头提的问题，2050年是不是能实现这个目标？我觉得应该还是希望很大的。好，我就分享这么一点。
Okay, thanks for all the excellent sharing, and also the panel is coming to the end. But I think that the race to the zero is actually just begun, and also is accelerating. As all the panelists highlight in all the discussion, that the ship owner should not left alone. I think this is very also appreciate, take the opportunity, appreciate Capital Link and also Exim Bank to arrange that we are saying that Capital Link, we are linking to the capital and also to our customer. This is the way that how the shipping can decarbonize. I want to say that we talk about a lot on the alternative fuel, but the cooperation is a true fuel for the future. By saying that, I want to thank for all the panelists' excellent sharing and also your attention to this panel discussion. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we can have the photographer come and take a picture of all of us on the podium.
Okay. Did you take a picture?
Now, I hope the photographer will show up. There he is.